Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Richie.
And I'm Little Matt.
And here at the 500 Section Lounge, we have a few requirements.
First, you've got to be able to talk about anything at all.
Secondly, you need to be able to laugh, play games, and talk to some very interesting people.
From sports radio personalities to reality television contest finalists and everything in between, we talk to them all.
Yeah, it's all right here in the lounge.
So be on the lookout for what we do next.
And always be there to
grab a listen. Joining us tonight in the 500 Section Lounge, Little Matt, Richie, we have amateur beekeeper Missy Burgess. Missy, thanks so much for joining us in the lounge.
Thanks for having me. Here.
My wife works with you, and you told her
Yes.
a story about some substance that you find on relative, at pretty much any surface that bees might frequent. Can you kind of talk about that story that you told Brie of what that substance is?
Yeah. Well, there's many names that this goes by, I guess, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would fully.
I don't even know if
I think explosive goes with it, doesn't it?
Oh.
It does. Yes, it does. Explosive does go with this. Evacuate.
Ooh, yeah. Complete evacuate.
Yeah.
I'm writing down these acronyms.
So bees over the winter, they eat the honey that's left in the hive, but they don't have to eat quite as much. But they still have to go to the bathroom, and they don't have that opportunity
while they're hibernating.
Yeah, not so much. So on a day where it gets above a certain degree, like I don't know, like in the 50s, 40s, whatever, which doesn't happen too often in the winter, right?
Correct.
So they're having to hold it a long time. They go on what are called evacuation flights. When the weather gets nice, they go out and they go on evacuation flights. And I promise you, there are poop drops everywhere. All over the hives, all over the garage that's next to it, all over vehicles. They're on our neighbor's garage, everywhere. I swear to you, I just got pooped on. Like I couldn't have planned this. I did not. Yeah.
So in the
see that? I just got pooped on.
And I know exactly now that is the kind of stuff that like when you're walking by your car, once it's gotten a little warmer, it looks like maybe a bug dried up and died there. So is that more than likely? What
maybe. Maybe. Is there a way to, I don't know how to flip let's see here. I'm here. So you can, I'm trying to figure out
tap your screen, and it may pull up the option to flip your camera around.
That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so
boom, master zoom.
There it is. Okay, so these are the beehive.
How many do you have in that?
There's just 3 here.
Right, but how many bees go in there?
Oh, well, right now,
not many.
That hive on the left side, they're not doing so great. So there's not as many bees there, but this middle hive is going nuts. So there's several thousand. There could be like 10,000 or more.
Just in that little small box.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then in the height of the season, there'll be 60, 70,000.
Holy cow.
In that little.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Purdue University did they wanted to see how many boxes they could get on top of each other, how big they could make the hive.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 2 boxes that you see there. 1 is on the left, 2 in the middle, and 2 here on the right.
Okay.
I think they said they got to like 12 or 13.
No kidding. And
they had to put like stabilizing
beams and stuff.
Stabilizing beams against it, because otherwise it was going to fall over. But
well, it gets windy in Indiana.
Let me see if I can show you the top of the hive.
Now, is that taunting them? Is that what you're doing with that honey on there? You're taunting them?
Is that bee crap on that?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely.
This is what we want right here, guys.
This is the template.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Bee poop and honey. Right.
Bee poop and honey.
For sure. But here's the garage. I don't know. Can you see the little dots?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Little dots all over. Yeah. So they're crazy. That's what they do.
How do they get out? I mean, I've never seen that.
Okay.
They get out and go to the bathroom. They fly right back in.
Let's see here. Let me show you this. So these guys are going in and out the front.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's a front door.
Yeah. That is called the entrance. What do you know?
Yeah. Hey,
These
how
guys
about
over
that?
here, all they can do is go in and out this little like 1-inch spot.
Yeah.
That bar that's in there is called an entrance reducer.
Okay, so you force them to go through one way.
Yeah, that's small, and I can turn it, and I'll have a medium-sized one.
Okay.
Or I can take it off completely, and they have the whole entrance to go in and out.
So you hear them right now buzzing, right?
Do you hear?
No, I'm asking.
No,
I'm guessing you do, but you're not worried about them just stinging you.
No.
How many times? And I'm assuming you standing there, they're not bothering you. But how many times have you gotten stung because they just nope, this is the wrong time, and they sting you?
Well, they only get aggressive when you like open up their hive and start messing with them. Yeah. Because they're like, who the hell are you? And what are you doing to me? And get out of my face. We were nice and cozy warm in here. And yeah. So I always wear a veil. Right. I always have like long sleeve on pants. Actually, I have the full suit.
I was gonna say, do you have like the hazmat suit style thing?
Yes, you look like you're, getting on a spaceship. Right. Really. Right.
Now, is
it does get looks
from
the neighbors. Say again.
Is that steam that they use sometimes when you see them
like with
a smoker?
A smoker. Yeah.
Oh, is that like just burn chips in there and smoke them out that way type thing?
Really, you burn whatever is near.
Anything that'll give you some
sticks
smoke.
And leaves, mulch, anything that you can. Yeah, anything that can give you some smoke.
And that gets
that puts them to sleep.
Really.
It makes them. It knocks them out, so you can go in and grab.
About it.
I knew that much. That is like it puts them at least enough. It slows them down enough to where you can grab the honeycombs out or do whatever kind of maintenance to the box you need to do.
Right. It's kind of an instinctual thing. Like if there was fire, they're kind of like protecting and going back into the hive. So it makes them move. It just kind of makes them move where you want them to go. Kind of masks what you're doing. Yeah. So we don't use it a whole lot. It's really hard to keep going.
Oh, I can imagine. It's a little handheld thing. You're keeping it smoking. I don't know that I could do it.
It is not. It's not fun. It'd
be my luck. I'd forget the glove and it'd be metal all the way through and burn the crap out of my hands. Right up. And then I'm kind of screwed on that. Then I'm angry at the bees.
Yeah, they're not happy with you either, I'm sure.
Right. No. So then I'm getting stung and have a burnt hand. Missy, I've already talked myself out of it. I was getting ready to buy boxes, and now I'm like, nope, not doing it anymore.
I've only been stung once.
Really?
Right here on the chin, and that's
at least it was a good one.
My veil was not secure, like it wasn't tight. It wasn't. I don't know. There's like usually a cinch or some elastic. Okay. And I didn't have it. There was a hole. If there's a hole, they'll find it. Yeah. And they did. So that's never a good thing. It's like, you can see the bees and then you realize it's on the inside of the veil. And not
you can't swat that one.
That's not a good thing.
And guys, I don't know if you're watching, but you can see the bees behind her flying back and forth every once in a while.
They've got a great flight path here. They love it.
It's very, it looks wide open enough to where they can go basically anywhere they want.
Yeah, they just kind of take off and go.
Is each one of those boxes like its own colony, or are those just kind of all okay? So
they all have a queen.
Well, they're supposed to. The blue box lost its queen, so we're having to requeen that one.
Now, how does that work? Do you have to like buy one? I mean, that's a serious question. Do you have to buy one?
You can. You can buy one, and that's actually the quickest way to get the hive to start producing and recover. Okay. But the other way that you can do it is, how I told you the middle hive was doing really well? Yeah. The guy that is our person to go to, his name's Chet. He's who we get the bee pack, all of our bee stuff from. He has like 400. He has 400 hives, and does this for a living. I know, right? I can't even. 400 of those boxes? That blows my mind, really.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
He said, take 2 frames that have brood, which is babies, like larvae, bees that haven't hatched yet, take 2 frames of that and put them into the blue box that doesn't have a queen.
Okay.
And that, he said, number one, that'll keep them there. They won't like abscond and leave the hive.
They know when there's babies to be tended
They
to.
won't. Yeah. And they won't leave brood.
Okay.
Even without a queen in there, they won't leave the hive.
Okay.
He said, leave the bees that are on the frames, even though they came from the middle hive, transfer them to the blue hive. And I said, they'll play nice. And he said, for the most part.
there might be some casualties, but for the most part, they'll adapt maybe.
And that was my question. Do bees get along with each other?
They are like hive specific. That like they know which hive is theirs, and that's the one that they want to go to. But there are ways to put hives together. Like this hive that's on the left that's so weak, we could take all of the bees that are in that and put them in another, like add their numbers to another hive to make it stronger. So you can do that. But I've heard of putting a piece of newspaper between the boxes. And by the time they eat through the newspaper, like chew through the newspaper, they're friends.
Oh, so their anger lasts just as long until they get through it, and then they're like,
just gotta
screw
get
it.
familiar with each other. They've just got to
just
yes.
Just give them the sports page and give them something to talk about.
Yeah. They can read it while they're chewing, and then, hey, did you see the A's released Soto? You know, or whatever.
Exactly. And then they're all good.
Yeah, buddies from there on.
So now, if it grows a queen, how long does that take?
They can make their own queen though. So those 2 frames of brood that we put in the blue box, they are. I think we're so new at this. I think they're trying to make their own queen. A queen cell is much bigger than a cell for a baby because the queen is bigger, so they have to make it bigger.
So is that,
I think there's some queen cells on there.
Do they just decide which one becomes the queen and make it bigger, and then the larva adapts to it and grows larger?
A queen is only fed royal jelly its entire like the entire time that it's pupating, that it's growing in that cell. They feed it it's called royal jelly. And that's something that the bees are able to like secrete, and they feed that to the.
So they feed their queen.
They pick their queen.
Well, actually, yes, yeah, they can if they need to make a new queen, and that's a whole thing in and of itself, right? Like there's this hive mind, like this colony. It's crazy.
And they know when they need it.
Yeah. That they don't have a queen, but this hive that's the blue hive, they didn't have a queen, and they must not have had any larvae to pick, like eggs to pick from.
Yeah,
it was like too late, so they would have died off. The bees only have like a 6-week lifespan unless they're over winter. Right. They live longer.
They're storing poop
to survive the winter. Exactly. They're hanging in there. They're holding on.
It might be the last thing they do, but they are evacuating.
I imagine that like the Dumb and Dumber clip.
Oh, it's awful. Oh, I had no idea.
And there we're back to poop.
Yeah, sorry.
I know, right? It's hard to get away from, really. Which make sure we get back to that, because I need to tell you what really brought up the conversation with Bree.
Missy, you don't know me very well, because it'll always come back to poop. So.
Okay, good. Okay, good. All right,
Matt, you had something, and you've been. I cut you off a couple of times, so go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I actually take like bee pollen. I've taken the royal jelly. The bee pollen, it kind of helps with the allergies, and you get the local pollen. How does that collect? Do you guys collect that, or is that kind of something that?
That's a process. There's pollen that will drop off of their legs. Like they're going out and they collect that stuff, and they actually pack that pollen into the cells, the honeycomb, not the honey, but into the comb. Mm-hmm. But some of it drops off, and it's on the bottom board. There's a bottom board. Actually, I think I might be able to show you one. And it has pollen on it.
I know.
This is cool.
It has pollen on it. Let's see if I got this one. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you got a casualty, a couple of them.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. I got someone.
No kidding.
Wow.
I got some one time,
And a couple
because
dead
it
bees.
doesn't come in pills, and I just can't force myself to eat it. So I actually pack it into those little capsules, and
Yeah.
you get some, and you get a lot of legs and heads and
Oh, do
wings.
you really?
Yeah, I've got some of that before, and it's just like you gotta
It's a little unnerving, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna use this one.
I think there's probably, I don't know what kind of filtering systems they have for that, but yeah,
That
there's
is a
So
ton.
that's pollen.
Yeah,
that's
fallen
pollen.
off.
Now
the
that's
legs of
pollen
the
that's
bees.
just fallen off of their legs when they've come back, correct?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
like
how
there's
long?
a big one right there.
Now how long?
Oh, look at him. What are you doing? Oh, there he is.
I hear
You
it.
couldn't
There
see
he
him.
is. Hi, mister.
What are you doing?
He wanted to be
Actually,
on
it's always a
camera.
she. That's a she.
Oh, she wanted to be on
How
camera.
can you tell?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm
She
ready
thinks
for
that's
my
okay to
close up.
do. She doesn't look like she's doing very well.
I was gonna
There
say
we
maybe
go.
she's
There he
sick.
is. She needs to go find a different path. Well, they do only have a certain lifespan, and I don't know, being stuck down on this bottom board's not where they're supposed to be. There's a screen that's
Okay.
right above this that separates the hive from that bottom board. So it's really, and it's supposed to be smaller than what a bee can get through.
Mhm.
So she really shouldn't have been there.
Hopefully
Yeah.
she didn't. Hopefully she didn't find a new trap door or anything. So where you're gonna have more of
I
them go
don't
down
know.
there.
Can we get back to the poo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Always,
Okay, so-
always ready for poop.
Circle back.
So this is the hive that had the worst problem.
Oh,
I don't know if you see all of that.
Oh,
It's a lot of
that is a
evacuation.
lot. And knowing
That-
how much one little bee produces, that's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
bunch.
it was just like, and you can see it's like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually not as bad as it was. Like it's cleaned off sort
Yeah, it
of.
looks like it's a little bit's
Like
maybe
the
gotten
rain.
rained off on
Right.
it. Oh,
So it was a lot
Figure.
darker than that, and streaks and yeah, and it was like one
Wow.
day, I know, one day, all of a sudden it was like, what is that? So they can get a bacteria in their gut called nosema, and it's basically like diarrhea.
yeah.
They're sick. They're sick.
Is there anything you can do for them, or is it just kind of
Yeah.
run its course, or what?
No, there's actually again, our bee guy.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
I love that
he
you have
gave
a
us-
bee guy.
I know, he's great. He's so awesome. We text him and send him pictures and say, what do we do? And he talks us off the ledge, and
Sure.
it's good. He gave us this little bit of powder, like maybe a tablespoon of this powder that you mix with sugar water and put it in the hive for them to eat. So a little bit like a probiotic, I think.
Okay, so it regulates them.
Exactly.
What led you to deciding that you were going to be an amateur beekeeper? I mean, there are so many other things, and we do know, my wife informed me, and we've done a little bit of looking up of what else you do, but why beekeeping?
I didn't want to. I really didn't. I've never thought this was something that I would want to do. Bees sting you and it hurts. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to play with them. And I mean, honey's good, but you can go to the store, right? You know,
Right.
Why would you want to do this? But Julie,
Yeah.
my friend Julie,
Yep.
she was interested in it. She had taken a PE class to the Southwest Bee Company in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
They did some community service down there. She thought it was really cool. We have a friend named April who has a greenhouse in Ohio, and she had beehives. And Julie went and
Saw how
helped
cool
her-
it was, and
Well, she helped her harvest honey.
oh, okay.
Saw that whole process and everything, and was like, "This is awesome." And I was like, "Uh huh."
And you're like, I'm still not sold on it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool.
You had fun playing with honey. Good.
Right. So last January, not this year, but 2020 in January, she got us signed up for these bee classes that were every Saturday morning for 8 weeks. And you said, what else from Bree, what
Yeah,
else
yeah.
I play in the band
Yeah.
every Friday and Saturday night. I play in the band. So Saturday morning is not.
It's never good
No.
to get up early.
No.
It's never to get.
This is I was like,
Head buried, just like, I guess we're gonna start keeping bees.
Now, did you physically go to the classes, or was it like a virtual? Okay.
No, it was, well, this was before COVID.
Yeah, before the lockdown of everything, basically.
So we started going to the classes, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like, wow, this is amazing. Like, it was really pretty cool. So I was a little hooked, but I was still kind of like, those things sting you. Yep. How are you supposed to handle that? But we got the bees after the lockdown, like April 5th last year. And it was so awesome. It was so cool. It just,
how does that come? Is that just like
it was like scary,
is it just like a queen and a couple hundred bees, or is it?
No, it's 3 pounds of bees and a queen.
Oh,
bees aren't that heavy either, Missy. So that's a lot of bees then.
I looked it up. A pound of bees is 4,000 bees approximately.
So you're getting a queen and 12,000 bees.
Yes.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a lot of bees.
That's a lot.
And they're in a box, like a screened box, and the queen is in a little screened cage by herself. But yeah, dumping 12,000 bees into a box.
When they don't really probably want to go into a box, right?
And you've never done this before.
Did you have your bee guy with you at least when you were doing it?
No.
Oh, goodness.
No. He's got his own stuff to do. He's he's not holding your hand. I mean, he offers to come, but like he never has. So
I'll come, just let me know. And he crosses his fingers.
He's like, oh,
you never say this. Come.
You got this. Okay.
Well, I'm kind of busy today, but you've got this. You can do this.
Let me know I got your message just today. I don't.
Yeah, waits a day and says, must be something wrong with my phone. I just got your text. So why is it that the queen comes separate? Like she's in the same box, but she's then also in a smaller box. Why is that?
Because the bees have to, if you just put the queen in with these 12,000 random bees, they'll kill her.
Okay. That's what I kind of thought.
They have to acclimate to her. She produces pheromones, and they kind of like key into those pheromones and like accept her. So she's in a separate cage. This is really cool. She's in this little cage with like 3 or 4, what do they call it? Attendants.
Okay. Ones that she can trust.
Exactly. They're her trusted friends.
Yes.
Exactly. So there's a little, it's called a sugar plug on one end of the cage. And right now there'd be a cork that covers that. You take that cork off when you're wanting to introduce her. You hang her in the hive once you've dumped all those bees in there, and they will eat that sugar. They'll eat at that sugar and release her, but it takes like 2 or 3 days.
But that gives them enough time to acclimate to her being their queen.
Right. And then they're good.
So
kind of like the newspaper.
Yeah.
Like the newspaper.
She's sending out this scent or the pheromone, and they're like, she kind of intoxicates them a little bit, and then they become
loyal to her.
Then they're worker bees then, and they do all the things that they need to do. Okay. That's so cool.
Worker bees are always female, and drones are the males.
And they're the ones that go out and get the pollen and bring it back?
No.
Oh.
No. The female worker bees do all the work.
Oh.
What do the guys do?
What the males do.
They poop is one.
Yeah, dump a lot.
Yeah, they do poop.
I'm guessing they help reproduce.
That's it.
That's all the males.
So they don't ever have to worry about losing their stinger.
No, but they do lose something else when they mate, and they die.
Oh,
so they only mate once?
Yes.
Short-lived life.
What do they lose?
Their head.
Their phallus.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that would be the other thing that you probably don't want to lose, or you'll die.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So they
and that's in flight. There's
hold on a second. Wait a second.
300 feet in the air.
So they're just cruising along, and all of a sudden, dead.
So they're cruising along at 300 feet and they're mating. They find their mate. They mate.
Yep.
I'm done. I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Wow.
nature, man.
So like just random bee falling, you're like, oh, at least you went out the right way.
Hey, you went out swinging, man. Yep.
So can they only produce one bee? Like, so the male, when he impregnates the female, is only one bee come out of that, or is it multiple bees?
No, here's another interesting thing. So the queen, when she's born, is called a virgin queen, and she has to go out and mate. And when she does that, she's looking for what's called a drone congregation. So these drones, they're not just flying at random by themselves. They find each other, and there's all these dude bees flying at 300
Are the
feet.
queen's trusted friends with her?
With who? Wait,
the queen.
what?
Did the queen's trusted friends that were in the box with her go with her?
No.
She's all by her lonesome, huh?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. So she goes out and she mates with several.
Okay.
And her ovaries, her abdomen is bigger because her ovaries can hold all that sperm that she needs for her entire life.
Oh goodness. So she only mates once in her life?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she mates with several drones.
Correct. But one at one time.
Right. And then she goes back to the hive and she never leaves again.
Wow. Amazing. I never would have thought this.
What's the lifespan of a queen then? Is it longer than others?
3 to 5 years.
Okay, so they do live considerably longer.
Yes.
Than okay.
Yeah,
so
they live a lot longer.
Okay.
That is so cool.
Oh, and drones don't winter. They're a suck on resources, and so they get kicked out at the end of the season.
Oh, so they're like, hey, sorry, we changed the lock on the doors. Change the locks. No, we don't have any spares. Sorry, no key, no spare keys.
Yep.
And then they die to the winter.
Yes.
Huh. How fast can bees fly? You know?
Oh, I don't know. That's one I don't know.
But they can go up.
You need to contact your bee guy.
At least 300 feet in the air. That's a long way in the sky.
Yeah, that's a.
They can fly. Is it 3 to 6 miles? For their foraging that they do.
No kidding.
Up to 3 or
round
6.
Trip or like 3 to 6 or 4 to 6 miles one way and then
one
back.
Way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
so like thinking of where your hive is, as far as like a radius of what kind of plants that they would be getting their pollen and nectar from.
So I've got 2 questions out of that.
Okay.
Did you research that to see kind of in that, like where you were going to place your hives? Did you research that yourself? And the second one is, does the different type of pollen affect the taste of the honey?
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. First question. No, I didn't research that. That's the B classes. Like they kind of tell you that. And I don't know. I mean, probably there's a lot of you're just like, I don't know. I went to those B classes and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff that you don't forget. You'll be like, yeah, queen lives like 3 to 5 years. Yeah, they can go miles to the drones. They kick them out. The drones, they die after they mate. You know, what's a drone? Oh, drone's the male. You know, I mean, there's things that you'll be like, what? I didn't know that. That's so cool. Yeah. So no, I didn't research that. That was something that I learned in the classes. But your second question, does it affect the taste? Yes. That's why you have, you can have different kinds of honey. There's most of what you get is like wildflower honey. It's just a mix of everything. But if you want, they do produce honey that is specific to certain plants. Like
what if there were only apple trees around?
Right.
Compared to like wildflowers, they would have 2 different types of flavors.
Right. Yes, awesome. It would taste different.
Now, my question is did you have or have you ever had allergies to pollen to where you sneeze and you're hacking and everything, and now you have it like 6 feet from your garage?
No, I didn't grow up with allergies or anything.
Lucky.
Real bad or anything. I know, right? Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So I haven't had any issues like that. But they say that honey from, the area that you are from will help you. Is helpful.
So Matt, you've been eating a lot of local honey around your place, right? Because you're allergic to everything. Yeah. Oh, you just eat the pollen. Screw going to the honey. I'm just down in the pollen. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It actually gives you a nice kick in the morning with your coffee.
Do you stir it in your coffee, or do you take it as
your coffee? Huh?
I actually put it in little capsules. Because
Oh.
I tried to eat it in like yogurt and I just couldn't do it. It just tasted like pollen. I mean,
Well, and you randomly have a bee head or
So
leg
you
or
go
something.
buy pollen,
Yeah.
Matt, is what you're telling me?
yeah. I buy, there's a local place that I actually ordered it from this time. And then I buy the capsules and just fill them myself.
So Missy, do you
From that
sell
way.
your pollen that gets caught in the traps?
Well, you know how he said there's all kinds of bee parts and stuff in there?
Yeah.
Well, there's actually quite a process for extracting pollen. And with this just being our first year,
Not yet.
we're not ready for that. I don't even know how they get royal jelly. Like, I don't know how they do. Our bee guy, he breeds queens.
Okay.
He like, that's a whole nother science, like depth of beekeeping that I'm like, oh my word.
Would you just
He
remove the
creates
queen and
queens.
does he like have to remove the queens from them and then they create more, or is it?
It's he like, it's almost like with I think he uses a microscope. Like he has to get an egg and then place the egg in a cell, and then he puts that frame with all these cells of eggs. He puts that in a hive, and then the bees create the queens, but he harvests them. He
Wow.
takes them.
Okay.
It's
So
it's crazy.
He
I don't
turns
even-
the colony into a queen mill, basically. It sounds
Yeah,
like he
you could
keeps
have
taking the queen away and they keep making a new one.
you could have him on just talking about queen rearing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Breeding queens.
yeah.
It's
This whole thing
yeah.
is just
It's so-
amazing to me because I know this much, and you can kind of see how far my fingers barely anything about bees. First off, I had no idea they had explosive diarrhea. And when Bree told me that story, I was like, there is no way this is accurate. And she kept telling the story, and I'm like, holy, I've got to know more. That's why I was like, I've got to get a hold of Missy. We've got to get her on, because this to me, I thought Matt and
diarrhea.
Richie would love hearing about
Oh, yeah.
explosive
Oh,
bee
yeah.
diarrhea.
Evacuation.
Total
Evacuation
bowel
flights.
evacuation.
How much honey comes out of each one of those boxes?
Oh,
Good question.
that's a good question. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was just
We-
giving Matt a bunch of there because he got the first good question. Oh, yeah, sorry, we're recording.
The classes, Chet says not to expect much out of your first year. And last year, out of 2 hives, because we didn't put any honey supers on that blue hive because they just weren't really strong enough.
Mhm.
But we got 14 gallons of honey.
That's not a
So
lot.
I have no idea why we did so well last
Okay,
year.
so I was going to say, I
But-
think
Yeah.
14 gallons is a lot.
Yeah,
But if that's
it
not too well, but you're telling me that
Yeah.
is very well.
That's- we did very well.
Okay.
Yeah, with those.
And how often?
Yeah.
Is that 14 gallons all at once, or is that throughout a couple of? How many times would you harvest that?
We harvested over 2 weekends. And there's one of the guys that was part of the class, was leading the class, said that he will harvest in the spring and he'll harvest again in the summer. But we just wanted to do it all at once because it's pretty messy. So we didn't want to deal with all that. And that also does affect the flavor. Early
Okay.
spring honey is going to taste different than late fall honey. And ours is just all mixed together.
So you've got
So
the year round 2020 vintage or 2020 2020
Yes.
vintage.
And then you bottle that yourselves and sell it yourselves.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it's really easy. There's no, I mean, it goes through a sieve, a double sieve. And that was it. And you just put it in a bottle then.
And the great thing about honey is it never spoils.
No.
Right.
If it crystallizes, you just have to put it
Heat it
either
up.
in hot water or microwave for a lot less time than you would boil it.
Can
Yep.
you? I often get poked fun at because I'm a simpleton sometimes.
And we love them though.
Can you explain it like I am literally 5 years old? How
Okay.
the bee makes the honey? Just
Oh boy.
let it rip.
You're the
Okay.
experienced one here.
We'll segment this out. This is gonna be its whole segment.
All right. Well, they get the nectar from the plants, right? And a bee has, it's called a honey stomach, and in that are enzymes.
Okay.
Right. And so enzymes are going to change something kind of, right?
Yeah.
So they take the nectar, their enzymes. I had one guy tell me that he doesn't eat honey because it's bee puke. But they do take it from one stomach, it goes to another bee. They pass it along to another bee.
And it goes in the bee
And then-
stomach.
So essentially, that is
So
kind of the thing. It's bee vomit.
So, but it's going female to female vomit?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Because the drones don't go.
The drones don't do anything, Rich.
They just
Remember?
mate. That's all they do.
So Matt made that comment.
That's it.
There we go. Matt made the comment last week. I was like, yeah, okay, bee pukers. And I'm like, we'll find out. And Matt,
Yes,
you didn't know you were right, but you were right.
Yep. I guarantee you, it is the most delicious puke you will ever eat.
Oh, yep. Absolutely.
That's 100% true. But once they get it up into the comb, they'll take it's been passed along, but it goes into the comb. It's open, like the comb isn't capped. This is what's amazing. Honey is 17% moisture. It has a 17% moisture content.
Really?
When they put it in the comb as nectar with those enzymes, it's like at 80% moisture content.
Runs out quick.
So, well,
if they don't cap
it stays there. Nope, it's not that. It's that over time they control the airflow and the humidity in their hive so well that it reduces the moisture content, and when it is at 17%, they cap it, and that's honey.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So you try not to use uncapped cells.
Well, yeah, because it's not perfected. It's not perfected honey.
Right.
It's not consumable according to the bees after they've already consumed and
right. It's still like in
regurgitated
process.
It'd be like grabbing a bourbon barrel 3 years in.
Yeah, when it's supposed to be what, 7, 15, 20 years, depending on the vintage.
I was gonna say how much you want to pay.
Yeah, right. So where do they get the wax then, or the capping? The cap to it.
That is produced in their abdomen. There's glands in their abdomen that they're able to extract wax from.
So
go ahead.
You had no idea about all this before you got into the amateur beekeeping, right? And then you learned all of this. Yeah, that's so cool. Thinking about all the different.
No, but I wondered the same things you did. I wondered too.
Oh, thank goodness I sound normal at least then.
Well, I mean, I like bees and hearing about them. I just don't like them around me. But this is so cool.
So was it unnerving?
If you were sitting next to me, it's so relaxing. It's unbelievably relaxing to come out here on a sunny day when they are going nuts. And there's just this constant hum and they're flying all around you. And I would love to just get a blanket and a pillow and
they really won't mess with you. They just ignore you because they're doing their own thing.
Yep.
Wow.
So was it unnerving when you started though? Like, was it when you started and there were bees around you were like, ooh, and then you just, realized they're going to leave you alone as long as you don't mess with them.
Right. There's this, I don't know. It's kind of like, any animal, I guess you kind of like learn their behaviors and what you're safe to do and what it's not a good idea. Like we would see people on videos on YouTube, checking frames, and they would not have any gloves on. They might have.
They're going to be angry. Those things.
They had no gloves. They're bare hands. And so Julie tried that. It didn't work so
well. Wise choice on you not choosing to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. She got stung right in the middle of her hand, right in the palm of her hand.
Well, it's like you said, they don't want to sting you because essentially you're losing your life.
Yeah. How long until from the sting until they lose their life?
It is a little while because even they can still fly for a little bit. They'll kind of crawl around, but it's pretty quick. They don't last very long after that.
Yeah. So, I mean, they don't want to sting you because they know what the ultimate result is, but they will die for the hive.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Wear them gloves. Keep them things from
I
stinging you.
have no
Keep them alive.
you know, I get why people don't want to wear gloves because you do want that like manual dexterity getting
Yeah.
into the hive and picking up frames and stuff like that. But
I'll give up a little dexterity to be able to not be stung.
we'll work it out. Hey, Julie's gonna put her. I think Julie's gonna put her hood on and pull a frame.
Oh,
if you want,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be
Oh.
awesome.
you're good with that.
Absolutely.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
why we're
Yeah.
here.
Time for
Missy.
that. Okay. All right. I don't know. when
This
she's
will
coming
definitely
back.
be a highlight video. So
There we go.
because there's a lot of visuals when it comes to the poop and then
Right?
other things. I mean,
Well-
because you know what, you see that all over, and if you don't know what it is,
I knew I needed to show you. I knew you needed to see it to believe it, kind of.
you said that there was a story that built up to you telling that story to Bree at school.
There was.
Yeah, you said remind me, and because you wanted to revisit. Was it the box? The way
It
the
was
box
the
looked?
box. It was the
Okay.
box
Oh.
with the poop. Oh, hey, wait. Here we go. Hold on. I got to change the view because here we go.
Oh,
Already.
here we go.
Now I'm taking some chances here because I got the camera.
You don't have any
but I don't
gloves on
She's
have
doing it
either.
for the
I don't
lounge,
have
everybody.
anything on.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
So this
That
is the
is
hive
a
that's
lot
doing
of
really
bees.
well.
So since it's
And
50, 60 degrees today, they're pretty active, correct?
Oh yeah, they're bringing back a lot of
Oh
pollen.
yeah, you can
and-
see them coming in and out.
So what she has in her right hand is called a hive tool. It's got a little hook on the end,
Okay.
J hook.
It pulls it up to where you can
There's
grab a hold of it.
I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but she's having to work really hard to get into the hive because there's this sticky stuff called propolis.
Oh, what is
And
that?
we just call it bee glue. Another thing that they produce, but they seal up the hive
No,
with that.
the various different constructs that the bees produce with their body. It just
Yes. Yes.
blows my mind. They make the wax to coat it. They put enzymes into the nectar to be able to make the honey. And oh, by the way, they glue their hive together too. Oh,
Holy cow.
that's a bunch of bees right
That
there.
is-
So you see
And,
the
and you
caps?
said that's not a lot.
yeah.
No, this is pretty normal. This is pretty good. So
Oh,
what
yeah,
you've
they've got
got there,
capped ones.
those are babies. All the stuff where you see it's capped,
Yeah.
where there's like little those are babies. Those are Yep.
And then are those if you scan back just a little bit right there, you can see it kind of being kind of glary. Are those open honeycombs to where they're getting the
yeah, there's nectar and pollen.
they're getting the moisture out of it so
Up-
they can
Actually, up here is honey. It looks a little
Okay.
different. It's kind of yellowish.
yeah.
It's capped, but that's honey, and this is brood. Uh-oh.
So-
Those
so
are
do they-
some queen cells.
Do
Yeah,
they
they got
normally
some-
keep the brood then in towards the middle because it's the
Yes.
central location that's the most secure? They would rather
Yes.
lose their food supply than their
Yeah.
colony.
Well, and it's also makes it
Oh,
kind
wow.
of easy to access food. If they put honey around the top is kind of an insulator and also just
Okay.
a quick source of food no matter where they are in the hive. So
That is
that's
awesome.
that's what it looks like.
That is
That kind of shape.
fantastic. I mean, I've been to the zoo before where they show the side view of a
Oh, yeah.
beehive,
I want to go out there, man.
but that right there is just a thought that's awesome.
Can you see these guys? I don't know. There's bees that are like shaking. I don't know if you can tell.
It looks like there's a couple of them that are maybe.
I can't find your
Yeah.
hive tool. Show your hive tool again, because that gives me a place to look. This guy's waggling. That's called a waggle dance.
Oh, okay. I see what he's doing. Yeah. Is that hint? What
What's he
is
doing
that?
that for?
What is that for?
I just got, when they start flying at your face, that's when you got to get out of there.
Use your Zoom, Missy.
Right? I should. Oh my God. Anyway, they're telling each other where their food source is, where they went to go get nectar. And
So
pollen.
they're like saying, okay, like certain ways they move, you go 3.1 miles due north
Yes. It
and
has
hang
to do with
left at that
distance.
oak.
They know that.
Distance and direction.
No
They can-
kidding. I was
Through
totally
that
making
waggle
that up.
dance, they can do distance and direction from
And
that.
the other bees understand that simply from the way the bee waggles.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Wow.
That
Yep.
is amazing. These things
There's
are
a-
amazing
there's a-
to me.
There's a figure 8 that they do. And there's an, I don't know, you'd have to look it up. There are really good pictures and videos and
Now,
stuff online.
here's
but
another question, Missy. Is it universal? Like one hive will speak the exact same way as the other, or is there different dialect,
Y'all.
so to speak?
No, well, as far as I know, I think it's all the same.
Okay. Well,
As far as I can tell.
it would make sense that you could transfer one of those to the blue one and try to,
Wow.
recoup or whatever the blue hive, but I didn't know if it was kind of like, well, we both speak English,
No,
but
Bruce.
one's got a really bad Southern accent
I was
compared
gonna
to
say, yeah.
a Northeast accent,
we got a boomhauer over here.
We're going to the haba,
I'm going down
and they're like, "Oh, that's sweet, y'all." You can understand each other, but you're like, wow, you have some weird dialect going on there.
As far as I know, I think they all speak the same
Fair enough.
language. I think there is a universal bee language.
That is fantastic.
There are
I
different
did not know
breeds,
that.
though.
No.
There
Yeah.
are different breeds. There's like you can get an Italian. Are you still there? Okay.
Yes, we're here.
An Italian queen. There's Russian bees.
We love the queen.
Does she talk with an Italian accent?
Exactly. I don't believe
It's a
so.
Gouda.
It's a honey.
It's a honey.
It's a honey. Mi amore via.
Right.
I didn't know there were different. I mean,
And-
duh.
Hold on.
I guess there are different breeds, but
The Russian one just kills people and leaves.
wow, wow.
I
They
was
are a little
I was
more
going to go. It
aggressive.
infiltrates. I was
Yeah.
going to say it infiltrates the other hives and sees what's going on.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's nice.
So the Italian queens do what now?
Oh, the Russian queens the Russians are a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, okay.
By
I did.
nature.
So there is a Russian.
Yeah, she said that. Yeah. she
Okay,
just
I
said
didn't
it.
hear her say
Oh, yeah,
Russian.
that's where it came from.
Okay, I missed it. I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't just saying.
So they
that.
are more aggressive.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
A little bit. Not terribly, but
Right. But
and even these, we had the hive that's not doing real well. We called them the mean girls because they were so aggressive. But they produce the most honey, and that's pretty normal too. The more aggressive the hive, the more better honey producing they are.
Wow. So
because they kick everybody out of the way.
Yep.
Get it?
They got a job to do.
That's right.
If we're doing a public service announcement here and
Okay.
summertime's coming, people are going to be camping and picnicking and stuff like that. What are some things that they could, because they don't want to get stung, we don't want to kill bees. What are some things they can do to make sure they don't attract?
And what are the differences between a bee and what people would say, oh, that's a bee, but it's actually a hornet?
Oh yeah. Well, that's almost something you have to kind of get like familiar with, because after doing this, I know I don't have any problem killing a wasp or a hornet or a yellow jacket.
Mhm.
But if it's a honeybee, I won't mess with.
Well,
Oh,
is there a different, like the honeybees look a little, they're smaller, but aren't
They
they
are.
a little fuzzier? Whereas
Yes.
the hornet is brighter yellow and black striped.
Right, and they're kind of thinner, and like
Yeah.
you said, shiny.
Yeah.
Or did you say that? Or did I?
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that?
that's exactly what I said. So you listen well,
Yeah.
even
they are-
inadvertently.
I know. Somebody said that. I don't know.
I don't know if I was thinking it or if you said it. But yeah, but a honeybee is fuzzier and a lighter yellow. They're like almost a golden.
Yep.
A
They're
gold
kind of
color.
golden. I wonder if I'm going to show you something here real quick. Let me see if I can show this to you before we leave them. Can you see how they have their butts in the air?
Yeah.
Going out
Yes.
the vibe.
The one over
They're all
there,
kind of the
right?
same direction. So she just put the cap back on, and they are, is it Nazaroff? They have here's another gland. They have a gland in the back of the tip of their abdomen where it's a pheromone, and they're saying, this is our home. This is anybody who got lost, come back this way.
Okay, so it's basically their signal to anybody that's out because they had some stuff messed around that they think,
they've been messed with.
we
Yeah.
want to make sure that everybody knows this is still our home.
Right.
Do you know how far out that pheromone goes? Like,
I do
So-
not.
at least far, because the bees that are out know roughly where to come back.
Right.
So they get within a certain
then
area,
got
they
it.
smell it and go,
I got
okay, we're there. That's ours right
Okay,
there.
That makes sense.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Bees are amazing. And have
They
you
are.
made it back to where they're not in fear of extinction? Like there was a worry a few years back that it was really close that they were going to be gone.
Right. Extinction. No, I don't think that's an issue, but as important as they are to agriculture and just, I think they say 1 out of every 3 bites you take, a honeybee had something to do with that.
Okay.
So if we don't have those, then we're going to have issues with our food source.
Yeah. Well, like you think about the Bee movie, and it really, they say, you know, they stop producing honey or whatever, or stop pollinating and stuff. And all of a sudden stuff starts dying. You know, that's a legit, that is make-believe, but yet that is a possibility without bees.
Right. Right. I think there's a much better awareness anymore. You know,
well, that's good, because while I don't like them in my home, I still want them to live. You know, when it comes to a honeybee, I always try to get them out if they come in the house. A wasp dies, or a hornet dies. You're in my house. You should have stayed out. I would have left you alone. You're in my home. You're going to die. Honeybee, I will let it go.
There you go.
Speaking of dying, unless I can get Julie to get me some sort of a battery, something or other, my phone's going to die.
Oh, what?
I know.
We're just gonna have to have her back.
I know, because we didn't even get to talk about your singing. And, So you know what? We have bent your ear really hard on the bees. I was not joking, because we emailed a while back to get you booked for today. If we can time it out, I would like to come out on location to try to, like, during that harvest time, maybe not that weekend, because I don't want to be in the way, but at the same time, kind of just get a look at it, or we can be in the way. I'd come out like
in the way. I'd come out anytime just to sit. I mean, that is really cool.
I'm interested. I'm not a big, huge fan of bees, but I'm not allergic to them, so I can adapt. I can adjust. So
I do wish you were sitting here next to me, like, because you would realize how they're super cool.
And it's probably one of those where at first it was uneasy, like you said, but now it's a soothing sound.
Yep.
When you're hearing the bzzz,
yep.
You know, first off, it's dollar bills, because all that honey that's coming in, right?
Honey money. Honey money.
No, because it's a great thing. Bees do help our country, or our world, live, you know, and we get to see all the awesome flowers, and you know, all the, you know, the cross pollinations and stuff. It's because of them. They're doing that for us.
And it's really cool. You found a hobby. I mean, a hobby that's fun, that supports that.
It is really cool.
It's really, really cool that you had no idea beforehand, and now you're diving in and showing us bees, and that's a cool stuff.
And to think, I knew bees were pretty cool. Now I'm like, man, they're like the most awesome insect in the world, because they're not going to attack me unless I go after them. And they're just doing awesome things.
They are amazing.
We can use almost everything in their hive, I think, too, right?
Yes.
I mean, I know pretty much, even the glue stuff. I know I've seen that some places. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what you would use it for, but I've seen it sold, and so I assume it has a use that we can.
It has an antimicrobial, antibacterial property to it as well. Oh,
so like a neosporin type thing?
Maybe.
You know, the antibacterial, it'll slap that on a little cut. It'll keep it from getting infected. You know,
you just put that right on the bee sting.
Put it right on the bee sting. So the next time you get stung by a bee, you just take some of that glue and just rub it right over it.
Start dripping.
You'll be fine.
I hope so. Well, I don't plan on getting stung. We'll have to. Julie might. I don't plan on getting stung.
Well, Missy Burgess, do you guys sell? You sell your honey, correct?
Yes.
Do you sell it online, or is it only in person?
Well, we're almost out of what we harvested last year.
Okay.
But we're hoping to have more of it. But no, it's really word of mouth, and you got to know somebody. We're not selling it. We don't sell online.
So here's what I'm going to do, Missy. Here's what I'm going to do.
Somebody.
Yeah, I know that, but here's what I'm going to do also. We have the Let's Chat hotline, and it is 682-800-CHAT. So it's 682-800-2428. If we have people watching this, if they text me and tell me they want it and we can figure out the monetary thing, I'll get the honey from you until of course you're sold out. But so if anybody, I don't know honestly if anybody will text me, but if they do, 682-800-2428, I will get some honey from Missy Burgess, who is an amateur beekeeper and just kind of went kicking and screaming into it.
I did.
But then
I did.
now you are so glad you were forced. No, I use forced
really
in
am.
air quotes, but forced to be a beekeeper.
Right. And there's a lesson there, right?
Not everything
Sometimes
that
you
you
think-
think is bad is going to be bad.
Right. Right. Just
Hey.
you should just try things.
Yeah. And you know what? That's why I'm not really loving the bee thing, but still I'm intrigued and want to kind of see beehives up close.
I do want to invite myself. Yeah. And so definitely.
He's
come
just
and-
invited himself.
I want to see
We'll
it
have to do that.
Absolutely.
We'll have to do that.
on location.
Missy Burgess, amateur
Let's do it.
beekeeper, thank you so much for joining us in the lounge.
Thanks so much for
Thank you.
having me.
That was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Loyal loungers, thank you for listening. We love you and we appreciate you. We do this for you. If you could do us a favor, leave us a review on whatever platform you grab a listen. This will let us know what you love and what might need to be retired. And always remember to sit back, relax, and grow to listen.